Hello.
Hi.
Greetings.
You're all great.
To you there at home, we're glad you dropped by.
This is weird.
I love this.
I like it.
I love
It's
this
just my
guy.
I feel like I'm channeling
Listen,
Mr.
it's-
Rock.
I was
It's
gonna
just
say,
Pat.
Hi there.
it's great.
Welcome to episode 58
Yeah.
of the Rule Slayers podcast. We've
Look
been
how
here
many notes I took.
58 times.
2 pages.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah. Too bad we're only level 7.
Oh,
You need to work on
I
that.
got on it.
It's okay.
are we just not hitting the milestones?
We'll make it.
Tyler just forgot.
We spend a lot
thing
of
is we
time
need to
planning
actually-
things and not a lot of time
We need to
actually
actually hit
things.
more of the
That
milestones.
is not true.
Then we'll.
Before we get into tonight's episode, as always, Hayden has wonderful things to say about our sponsors, and Molly has
That's so
our
sorry.
first sponsor, the cough.
It's really not it's not welcome. It's not a sponsor.
An unwelcome sponsor.
Yeah.
There we go.
Are you done?
No. Frankly, hardly done. It's not working.
I'm so
She's had
sorry.
2 children's water days this week, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her body's struggling with this.
Too.
It's too
let
many
me get through these. We'll start off with our musical partners. Are they playing right now? I thought they were.
They actually are.
Great! That's Beyond Skyrim Scandal's Short Halt Music Celestial AM project and Sirenscape, if I'm not mistaken. All
Yeah.
those make it come together. So, go check them out. Go check out all those projects. Go follow Tyler on Spotify to find all of his custom playlists. Patreon.com/RollSlayers is where you go to support cholesterol medication. That's right. You know how, you remember how GoFundMe became like a medical funding thing? This is our version of that. Find that for
Tyler
Patreon today.
doesn't die.
Just general wellness. In all honesty, we do use it on the show. It's mostly for production budget. There's a small amount of that, but we like to make it nice, We like to do our best. So, give us
One of your very hot ones.
Oh,
Well,
I
it's
didn't-
not-
I didn't say that. Nothing happened.
all right, now
I'm
let's
being
get little
beautiful
Tan
now.
over there.
Shame on the-
So,
We will be
patreon.com/rollslay.
But now we are glowing.
You guys look great already, I can see. worldanvil.pxf.io/rolls. Wait, is that right?
That rolls. Wait a second.
What is happening?
worldanvil.pxf.io/rolls.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, we got it too. That's better than That's where you might go to Anvil Outer World. Tyler, do you have a factoid prepared for us today, or should I?
I have seen horrors you cannot imagine today.
Have you expanded on the goblins?
Actually, yeah, I have.
Nice.
I got a lot of goblin stuff.
Lots of stuff in the world anvil.
I got. Here's the thing: if you have a group of people in a library, they're looking up stuff in books. You stall until you can world anvil all the stuff they're looking for.
You think you're lucky stars when one of your players rolls a 0 on their history check about their own people.
And
He's building the lore as it's going along.
then you world anvil that out.
That was the angriest I've ever seen Liz in one of these games, and I've seen her very angry in these games before. That was like the realest disappointment.
Literally been my mission since the beginning of the game was to figure out some of that stuff, and then I rolled a 0. So
Try again tomorrow?
Anyway, follow us on YouTube, subscribe and like.
What are you doing? I do
don't-
this.
Well, you
Like and
weren't
subscribe
doing.
to the YouTube, follow it, get in our Discord, the links in our Instagram bio, and our website, rollslayers.net.
Is
It's not
call.
No.
.net, don't do .com. It's gone.
Rollslayers.net.
It's $400.
Rollslayers.net is where you can get our link to all those things. So go give us all a follow, come chat with us in Discord. What else did we have? Oh, how could I forget Eldritch Foundry? Custom minis, reasonable prices, STL files, mini materials, now available in color. Use our code RollSlayers for 15% off of your order.
Thanks, Hayden.
I feel like he said the word off at me.
Like, felt, yeah.
Shall we play the game?
Interactive.
Okay, we'll just stay here.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, we were gonna cut it.
So sorry. It's like that tickle that won't go away.
Oh.
No, you're good. Drink water.
I'm working on it.
You
I
need
got a cough drop, but now I got more boogers.
That intro, you could tell we have not played in a while.
You need
Very chaotic.
Everything
glass
is
of-
fine.
Do you need like tissues or anything?
I have my own tissues. I have this entire Yeti full of tea and whiskey.
Oh,
I have a whole bag of cough drops.
Should get a tall glass of melody.
Should have just brought your anti-cough juice.
I'm out of cough syrup, but I'm not buying.
Oh, I was just making up a magical thing that.
Oh, I mean, I have taken a lot of cough syrup, i.e., it's gone,
Oh.
and I don't want to buy more.
This will link to your Zach
We're,
voice.
we're ready. We can do this anytime.
Not have cough syrup in your house.
I'm
Okay,
not the one that takes it.
you may be ready,
Drink.
Hayden.
Oh, we're taking a cough break.
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
that's what's happening.
Okay.
Waiting
Okay.
for all of the
You
flags
heard
to
of
be
coffee
removed.
breaks?
But I'm glad you're so unaware of other people's woes.
I just thought we were forging ahead. Just
I don't-
dragging
Alright.
coughing Molly into the.
We're good. It has,
Bleach.
it has
It has
a
substance.
basic.
Coughing Molly, the less popular sibling of
Yeah.
love.
not as good. They have a weird vibe.
It's just yodeling.
It's like an elderly cover band.
But like the kind of yodeling when you're losing your voice and your voice cracks, it's just like that.
Picture that's yodeling.
Last we left off, the party made a bit of a plan to address the smuggling operation, but really decided to do a bit of fact finding and decided to hit both the Abbey of the Devoted, one of the temples in town, speaking with, I believe, a priest of Avandra and one of Shar. And then they made their way to the library, the grand library of the entire Torbenbergen Empire, called Pieka Herfen. There they made their way in, asked the, oh, dang it, I forgot to write his name down. Who?
Yardle.
Hjardal. The curator, Hjardal, or he's the chief researcher, Hjardal, to show them around. Laren, the clerk, also helped show them around, do some research. And Hjardal set up a brief appointment with Astrid at some point
2 days time.
down the line. Thank you. This is what happens when your notes go kaput for some reason. That said, that's where we left off. They are still in the throes of research. I believe Leaf is researching alone. Ori is with Mert, but is feeling less than perky and decided to snuggle up in Mick. I believe you three are together, the Gith and Visa. Is that correct?
Yes, because I needed help.
You give that.
You guys found me
Asleep.
drawing elves and books.
No, that's
So-
right. That did not belong to you.
Right. So we're redirected to more research.
Yes.
Why don't we start with Leaf? Are you wanting to re-up on your research time here?
Yeah, I think I completed 2 of my allotted 3 research things.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you think that I could drill down and see about...
You
I wanna
looking for like more info on?
Can you come back to me?
Okay, copy that. Mert, we still figuring out about goblins here?
I mean, as much as he can.
Okay. Go ahead
as well.
and roll a history check. I'm going to say an advantage is you've kind of found yourself in a groove now with your reading about the legendary hero, goblin hero of old and stuff like that.
And Tyler, in the background, if you want to handle it in the session or post-session, I've got a couple of things that Ori wanted to work on.
Okay, copy that.
I got a 15.
15. Okay. You find, after another about hour of a research, you find a dusty tome of like faded green leather. Scrawled on it a bunch of haphazard scratches of various organized form. That is the goblin written word. It is entitled The Codex of Liberation. As you spend time reading it, it becomes clear that this is a tome from the first of the Goblin Rebellions. Liz, you good?
I'm fine.
Someone put something in the Discord.
Yep.
In this
I was
book,
recounting my notes from last week.
it's basically a goblin bill of rights. It speaks about how goblins should have the right of a few things. You pick up the right of travel, the choice of occupation, the choice of mate, and independence of state as a confederate partner in the tutorate government instead of a hegemonic state. Very eloquently put, but very poorly written, as this goblin clearly did not have great handwriting. Hard to read sometimes, even for you. You're not sure if it's because it's so old or because it's so poorly written. But that's about all you find there. Is there anything else you're looking for?
What's the policy on checking things out of this library?
You have not asked. Would you like to start finding Laren or perhaps Bjoriand? I think that's not his name. Jordan.
Who's
Bjoriand.
around me?
Ori.
Is Ori outside of Mick?
No.
So I think Mert's gonna try to like slip this into his bag, like
Okay.
this particular document.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Yoink. That's 12.
12. You slip it into your backpack. Take a look around. Make direct eye contact with the librarian, who looks at you. Continues on their way. You feel like you've gotten away with it.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm imagining like an Oblivion NPC who's like just too far away. It was totally looking at you, but you got away with it. And then he's like,
yeah, absolutely. What's Ori got while we're here?
Ori was interested in researching 2 topics, and then outside of the library, she's got other stuff.
Okay.
But in the library, she was interested in researching like natural or local phenomenon or arcane resources or like raw materials in like Torvenbergen territory that might like spark an interest for going into acquiring, or because it's near a Torvenbergen city, you could buy some of that nearby.
Sure.
Because she's interested in finding more things kind of like the Displacer Beast cloak materials to expand her artificing.
Sure.
And then the other one was, I think it was like, I think one was kind of like natural resources and one was a little bit more like arcane topics of interest nearby. So if there was a famous crypt nearby or famous wizard's tower in the region or something, those are two things that she's looking to put on her radar.
Okay. Go ahead and pick one of those real quick.
Okay.
Which are you gonna look into?
If she was next to, she'd probably start with the resources because that's a bit more general.
Okay. Go ahead. I will say this. You probably, based on everyone else's timelines, have time for one roll.
Okay. Then this go around, she'll focus on resources.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Do you want me to pull her sheet?
I guess roll. It's not really history. I'm just gonna have her roll investigation.
Okay. Do you have her stat up?
I don't.
I'll pull it up.
It's probably like +4, +5. Go ahead and roll, and we'll come back to you.
Ooh, that's a natural 20.
Oh, never mind.
So if you want to answer her later, that's totally fine.
I'll send her a message because
That's something she's interested in collecting info on.
yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what like Torvenberg can steal everything, so I'm gonna have to figure out what's even valuable around here.
Cool, and I can give you some more context for what she's looking for
Sure.
offline.
Sure. All right, Leaf.
Okay, I'm ready now. Leaf's gonna poke his head out of the study room and find Visa. Just needed a quick reminder. Leaf at this point, he looks frazzled. Like his hair is all over the place. It's way out of place, and he looks kind of like tired, stressed. I cannot remember off the top of my head. Can you tell me the name of the star that you were supposed to be born under or were born under?
Oh, sure. It's Hitharala.
Okay, that's a good place to start. So what I'm looking for now, I have kind of two things here. One I think would maybe be a little easy to find, so I don't think it would be too big of an ask, but I would like to try to get sort of historical information on what cults of the Rizadoon are often, or what they do, basically, like their activities. And I would also like to see if I can find an astronomic history of that star.
Okay.
Or,
that's
all
what
stars in
they-
the sky, looking for that one in particular.
I will tell you this. That's part of what Visa's doing later.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know
Well,
if you want to change that.
then I'll go
You
ahead-
can
I
further
can go ahead
research
and-
this.
I can go ahead and stick with my core competencies and do cults only.
Okay. do you want to do cults? You don't want to you have I'll just say this, since you'll have to come back to the library if you want to keep researching probably. You have a solid lead on this
Residue?
separation stuff if you want to keep drilling into that. But we can pivot to cults or your family tree or whatever.
I think, well, I have a good amount of information on it. Do you think that my time would be better spent on that then? Is that what I'm hearing implied?
No, I'm not implying that. I just didn't want you to think that was a closed door in terms of more.
No. I think he's
Information.
pretty obsessed with this new piece of.
Okay, the cults. Okay, copy that. Go ahead and roll religion for me.
Okay. Not history, please?
You could go history. It's going to be a different DC.
I think I'll give religion a shot. See
We
what-
all do eventually.
I rolled a 13.
13.
Hey, that's not an 8.
No, but I did roll a
Generally.
10. It was plus 3.
generally there are not many cults of Tharizdun, historically. That is because Tharizdun wants to end everything. It's not Shar where it's like a void. He wants it gone. All of it, even a void, gone. He wants to end gods. He wants to end his own existence. He wants to end his cult's existence. He wants to end the existence of other multiversal places. Gone. So, not many cults. Cults that are dedicated to Tharizdun are usually comprised of very crazy or upset people. These cults usually do operate quite secretly, and their goals usually involve freeing or reviving Tharizdun because there is conflicting information on either his whereabouts and his status as either alive or deceased. Many people believe that if Tharizdun even existed, he is a dead god. But many others believe that he was chained. Some believe he was split up and chained in different places. So his cult is dedicated to finding him.
I guess the follow-up I would have with that is one note I had from last time is that he could sometimes influence others into believing he's a primordial out for revenge. So if there have been like unintentional...
Funny enough, some people link natural disasters to cults of Tharizdun. There was a volcano eruption on Thunderfall Island north of Iodosos that is attributed to a cult of Tharizdun who was duped into believing it was a primordial being. Some even go as far as to link the Kaiju incident to Tharizdun. So there's that. Tidal waves every now and then. Mass destruction in general.
But that's mostly hearsay, at least from what I can tell on a 13.
Mostly hearsay, and also like, while you could possibly substantiate this with some primary sources and secondary sources, it's not definitive that Tharizdun has tricked people by pretending to be a primordial. It's still not, you wouldn't consider it to be 100% evidenced that way.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you. That concludes my research time.
Okay. Alright, that leaves the gifts and Visa if Visa wants to do something besides help the siblings.
I think Mert, having lifted a text, is probably going to look for his compatriots.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, Visa was highly unsuccessful in the first round of research, so he said, okay, I'll come back with when we can meet with Astrid, and his next portion was going to be assisting the Gith in there.
I remember you came over there. I
Yeah.
didn't remember if you
He was
wanted
gonna
to continue that or not.
pivot to assisting.
Okay. Whoever wants, you guys are still researching the Gith just in general, right?
Zai would be particularly interested in anything that talks specifically about Genki psionics.
Okay.
And also anything that anything specific about Luckith.
Okay.
So looking for those kind of two things.
Are you looking for different things, Zai, or same?
Zach.
Zach.
Oh, yeah, I'm probably just going along with whatever she's doing.
Okay, so between the two of you, you can either, or three of you, you can roll history or arcane, or one of you can roll at advantage.
I am not helpful for either of those things. Would you like to
Neither
make
am
one
I.
of those rolls, Evisa?
Do you want to roll at advantage, Visa?
Let's see.
You are better at both of those things than I
You
am.
said history or arcana?
Mhm.
I have a +2.
That's better than a 0.
You guys have zeros?
Better than a -1.
Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah,
both?
don't let her research.
Oof. Alright, go for it, Visa.
Alright.
Do not
Executive
understand
decision,
your
you roll at
Oh,
advantage.
Alright.
step.
He'll do the two of them over his shoulders while he's like, oh, alright.
What about that one?
Help us.
That one looks cool.
Ooh, that is an 18.
18.
Horrid.
Okay. You don't find anything about Gith psionics, but you find a very interesting, it's kind of like a thin journal. Primary source account of a Gith during the end of the Realm Wars.
Yo.
They identify themselves as a Gith Sarai, not a Gith Yankee. And they detail a falling out with what they dub Mother Gith. You recognize this to be Vlaakith. Essentially, it details a split, a rift in the Gith ranks, where some Gith flipped sides, essentially, during the Realm Wars' final days, and joined the Elves. They eventually, it details that he and his other compatriots decided to remove themselves from the situation and made their way to Limbo. It also details a known historic thing about Vlaakith by you two. The alliance with Tiamat, the Dragon Queen. However, it paints it in a quite unfavorable light, essentially stating that this deal with Tiamat is bad for Githkind. It doesn't elaborate why or how, just that Vlaakith made this deal with Tiamat in direct detriment to her children, and that was part of the reason for the rift. And that's about it for the journal.
Okay. So nothing... Was any of that new information from the last time?
Yeah,
Okay.
the origins of the Githzerai, who you've heard of, maybe. That's pretty fresh to you, and the fact that they joined the Astral Elves is also pretty new information. The deal with Tiamat being not good, / Vlaakith probably doesn't care about the Gith. That's you've kind of inferred that, but
Yeah,
you've
you
never,
said
you've
that
never
last time.
found any concrete
Okay, so this was just more...
sources of
Okay,
of
that
statement.
That
Yeah.
was kind of...
This is like, this guy's like, hey, I'm
More
not even
proof
a
that-
Gith anymore. I'm a Githzerai.
Right.
Vlaakith sucks. We joined the other side of the war. You know,
Okay.
it's confirmation to kind of the
Yeah.
sentiment that's been building.
Okay.
Roll a d4 for me.
1.
There is also a footnote about Vlaakith's divinity, musing on Vlaakith's power and divine nature, and no overt statements here, but he seems to infer that she is not divine, but something more malicious.
So did our cult teach us that she was like a goddess?
Yeah, Vlaakith,
Okay.
Vlaakith in Gith Yankee culture is God.
Okay.
A god,
Okay.
at least. Much like Tiamat is a god.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And Tiamat is the dragon, right?
yeah.
The like leader of all the red dragons.
All the chromatic dragons.
Oh, okay.
So, you got Bahamut's like metallic good guy dragon, and Tiamat's like, ooh, I am evil and have 5 heads, and I live in hell because I've been trapped.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's her primary source history book.
Yeah. Is there anything else we're doing here at Piakithirm as the day kind of dwindles towards evening time?
No, I think we were just killing time until Leaf had a midnight meeting, right?
Yes,
point of contact?
Leaf had a contact with. He wants to pick up his note from the Three-Eyed Giant, I believe. Is
That was
right?
it. That was the meeting.
That's the first thing. The second is to try to schedule a meeting.
Okay. And you guys didn't end up finding a place to stay yet, have you?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, new place.
Where?
Yeah.
We picked the nicer, but not as nice as the one we've been at.
I write it down. Dang it. I think it's in here. I just want to make sure. Dang it. Where is my notes? This is really crippling my ability to DM.
Something like a druid. Oh.
It's okay. I'll make a new one. I'll make a new one right now, and I'll write it down.
Gilded Dryad.
Oh, the Gilded Dryad.
Dryad, not druid.
And there was another one that's like the long grasshopper or something.
Yep.
Yeah, and we decided that one's too gross. Stay at the,
We said-
at the more in-betweeny.
Yeah, we said backup option if we have to move out of
Yeah.
the Gilded Dryad.
They're somewhere in my notes, but I can't find them. Anyway, so are you guys headed back to the Gilded Dryad to kind of turn in, or are you guys all going to the Three-Eyed Giant for this meeting?
Is there a meeting that is scheduled?
Yes.
Or is he just waiting for a note? Okay, so he does have that meeting.
He doesn't have.
Well, if he wasn't-
this is a meeting to get the note.
Yes, so if he wasn't gonna be available, the guy was just gonna leave a note at the Three-Eyed Giant. But if he goes and meets him, he'll pick up the note.
Okay.
Thoughts while remember.
I don't remember any of that.
So are you guys going to the Three-Eyed Giant all, or?
Nope, that
Probably
sounds
not.
stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2.
Yeah, because I think we're still working at our cover story for Mert.
No worries. Oh yeah, that was
Arms
a lot.
and what was his name? Borg.
Borg.
What's his name? Bort.
Board? Yeah, it's
Bort and
board.
Arms.
Borg arms. Okay.
Would probably stay
No.
together because that makes sense, and they have already been seen together.
What's your name? Gooby Durkus?
I wouldn't mind having someone
Gooby,
else helping
Gooby
me.
Durkus.
Gooby.
Yes, I will come
The
with you.
Dopus, yes.
Dopus.
Gooby Dopus.
Gooby
Yeah.
Dopus.
Goofy Dopus was the name. Is that what
said
you're trying to think of?
Oh, I wasn't gonna say it. I forgot. Thanks.
I'm going back in our chat history to try to find the name of the guy who I wanted to contact.
Lyros the Great.
No. It was the guy who tried to stab Mert.
Modin.
What?
Oh,
Modin. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Not Modron.
Not Modron. Moradin.
Motron.
not Modoc.
No, guys, I'm not gonna remember it.
Modun.
Modin.
Last name?
Yeah. Modin is my ultimate meeting goal right now. But
Okay.
You need to give him drugs.
yes, we need to give him drugs.
So you're going to the Three-Eyed
Right.
Giant
Drugs.
to pick up
A note.
Pick up the note.
Okay, and Zek is going with you.
Yes, I am going as Arms, the bodyguard,
Okay, cool.
with my big arms that I will start walking around like this.
These are good Zig voice.
You gotta get your elbows in there real
I don't know how.
real tight.
And the point them in.
There we go.
You make your way, elbows in, arms flexed to the Three-Eyed Giant, where you are greeted with the squat bodybuilder form of Lyros, the bouncer, who stops you at the door before you head in, recognizing you, Leaf. Just like a gentle hand on the shoulder before you go in.
Oh. All right.
You stop now. And I give you this. Hands you a small note with like a deep blue wax seal that has 9 slashes in it, horizontal or diagonally and horizontally.
I'm gonna give him a wink and then press 5 silver into his hand.
Just shrugs and takes the silver.
It's a tip. I don't know why that's weird.
You say that? I said that in Hayden voice, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that wasn't Hayden voice. I
Yeah.
don't know why you'd shrug it. All right, I'm just gonna take it and maybe we go slide into a booth in the corner.
Sure, circulate a
Me and
little.
Arms.
Absolutely. You make your way into a nicer little booth, away from kind of the raucous crowds at the middle of the room. And unseal the letter, I assume, or are you safe?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. You just it just says there's like a small bit of text scribbled. What languages do you speak?
Oh, I speak Common, Infernal, and Primordial.
Okay. You do not recognize these. Yeah, you don't recognize these letters.
Well,
I speak Elvish.
No.
So we can't recognize. Can we recognize them if not read them?
You can't read them, is what I'm saying.
Right, but could I recognize them?
Yeah, go ahead and make a history check with advantage.
Okay.
I'm gonna say advantage, and you have a higher modifier for this, so add 2 to your modifier because this specifically pertains to you.
Okay, I got a 15 with everything.
I forgot the language that it's called. I just know the thing.
Oh, what is the word? I don't know the word, but I know what you're saying, I think.
The
script.
Yeah, it's not deep speech. Yeah, it's deep speech. That's deep speech. The language of aberrance.
Oh my god.
Is that what?
Yes, beholders are considered
Yes.
aberrations.
Okay.
Correct.
I don't know why they would do this in deep speak. Do you know how many people speak this? Like,
I don't
not
even.
a lot up here.
I don't know what that is.
It's
What language is that? It's not Elvish.
Underdark language.
No, it's not Underdark language.
Well, that's what.
That's Undercommon.
Undercommon. Well,
Deep speech is the language of aberrations.
It's Underdark.
It's the language of like beholders and
my
mind
mistake.
players and.
I misremembered my lore. Strike it from the record. Spencer, delete it.
Bulletin.
I don't know anything about. It's gonna be hard to find someone to read this.
You cannot read this.
No, of course you can. Of course you can read this, can't you?
Of course we can. You
All right.
be able to read it as well. Here.
I'm gonna lift my shirt up
feel
and
this-
put it underneath to be high in there.
As you do, you feel this tingling in your brain, and there's this kind of switch. As you like send it down to read, the letters rearrange in your vision as well, and you are now able to read deep speech.
Hey, a new language. Wait, forever?
Yep,
Yay!
that's what happens when you have a parasitic twin that's also an aberration.
Such privileges.
It's all upsides, you guys.
Do you really want to make a butt twin out of him? I mean,
All right.
It just reads Mausoleum of the Fallen, midnight.
Oh, Scud. Let's go get our compatriots. We don't have a lot of time.
You guys make your way back after the appropriate amount of time, sitting, drinking, discussing things, to the Gilded Dryad, where the rest of your compatriots are lounging, having a meal, doing something.
Definitely some tea to wash down dusty library.
Sure.
I think just some. It doesn't have to be a long conversation, but Mert would pull Visa aside real quick and.
Hey, are you any good at translating? From what? Well, how familiar are you with the Goblin script?
Oh,
I'm not. Well, if I dictate some stuff to you, can you make it sound fancier?
Oh,
Sure. I've written letters before.
so, kind of feeling he's got Visa's confidence, he pulls out the text.
Visa, unaware it was stolen.
Well, I found this pretty recently, and it seems like something that could be useful for trying to convince goblins that there's more to life than being cannon fodder.
Oh, alright. We gonna write a letter to all goblin kind?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I at least want to make it sound good first, before I decide what to do with it.
Oh. So you like workshopping, just like your sales pitch.
Something like that.
Oh, all right.
He sets down his tea.
What sort of things are you... What, are you meaning to distill from the text there, or...?
So he gives Visa just like a rough summary, like speaks some of the phrases in Goblin, but then like translate it to the best of his understanding.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a really interesting piece of literature, I guess the word is.
So it's like an appeal to nature and an encouragement towards nurture. Sort of. Because all they're taught in the goblin pets is really sort of a perverted nurturing, which is more like the control.
Yeah, it sounds like some of the stuff I was reading in that library, that there's more to life than... There's way more to life. It sounds kind of like what I picked up from the monks.
I think I know a thing or two about finding your way.
And he'll spend some time with Mert, workshopping some letter stuff.
Word.
Okay.
Words.
Eventually coming back is Leaf and Zek to meet you guys.
What time is it by now?
Probably like 6 or 7 p.m.
Oh, okay. I thought it was later. We're in good shape. All right. Who's up for late night tonight?
Oh, what are we going to be doing?
He slaps the note onto the table. I forgot nobody can read this. He really doesn't look very healthy at this point. He looks like he's been obsessing over some things. Midnight tonight was to be at the mausoleum of note-taking.
The Fallen.
Thank you. The mausoleum of the Fallen. We got plenty of time to, I guess, sort out where that is, but probably want to get there a wee bit early. I figure at this point, maybe we all ought to convene, right? There's no reason for us to continue staking out one another and keeping things separate, right?
So, like, we're all going to go to this place and do what exactly?
I don't know. Get further into what we were trying to do. Close the deal, maybe.
Now, do we all need to be present, or should I be hiding, or what?
That's what I was thinking. I mean, it might be worth all of us being present for this, because if things go sideways, I'd rather we all be there. I mean, if you can manage to find a way to hide on your way in and keep out of sight, then that's one thing, but I think we all ought to be there.
What is, like, the story that we're telling about why we're all here?
Was this the delivery of your goods?
Tyler, I can't even remember. It was so long ago now.
Yeah, it was the coordination of like purchasing in bulk the smuggled goods, basically.
Right. Okay.
The actual smuggling is takes place by the Nine. Like, the Nine smuggle the materials, but they do not sell the materials necessarily of Albric's storehouse.
Well, I think it's just about getting those goods that I discussed yesterday from the coopery to its next destination, either hypothetically or in real life, depending on if we actually want Hag's milk in our general store.
So we're going there tonight to, like, get the scary drinks from the people, or, like, we're just going to make the deal happen, or... Like...
Just make the deal happen. We aren't going to be carrying that stuff. It'll be delivered.
Sure.
Why is this happening at midnight near the mausoleum, though? Instead of, like, inside of the cooperage itself?
Dramatic effect.
Well, they likely also don't want to do certain business exchanges on the property of the place where they're trying to move the illicit goods, so they sort of split up the attention of the guards. Maybe?
That makes no sense to me, but if this is how this kind of thing happens in this part of the world, then okay, we'll go with it.
Well, I guess if we're going out with that cover story, I better be there.
It's also probably a convenient place to deal with visitors if the deal doesn't go well.
So wait, are we just like owning up to the fact that we were lying about us being fancy rich people and Visa being our like weird manservant / broker dealer man?
If I'm being honest, I'm not sure if that will even really come up here.
We don't
So it's-
we don't yet know if those two are connected,
Okay.
but
They're both connected with the 9, but they ain't necessarily connected with each other.
It seems like they are operating in different facets of this organization.
Right.
Okay. Well, whatever you think, if this sounds like a good idea to you, then I will be glad to go with you. And
It's our best path so far.
we maybe learn more who's involved. They may
Get a
have,
little bit deeper in.
they may have some of the operation actually there in the mausoleum. We don't know.
that is a really weird place to do business, but
I don't know. Sounds pretty cool.
They tend to try to pick places that are going to be as far off the beaten path as possible, and I assume this is one of those. This place probably doesn't see too many folk coming in.
This is up in the top, like, district, right? By this big statue.
The mausoleum is actually in Mist Dundee, not top.
Oh,
not
no.
the top.
Didn't we, like, go by it at some point?
I think you guys passed it briefly on the way to the Abbey.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, you know they do it for the ambiance.
I mean, if I had to pick a place to do, like, my secret backroom dealings, it'd be, like, a place with buildings full of dead people. It's, like, at night. It makes sense.
As a player,
Like
I
a
know.
good feeling.
As a player, I know stuff about how mausoleums can be. Would Mert have any idea about what mausoleums can hide?
You mean like spooky things?
Like secret passageways and things.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make a history check.
I want to know, how can
Uh,
mausoleums be? Do tell.
I don't know if you would have advantage or disadvantage here.
probably advantage.
Well, there's two types of
Probably advantage.
mausoleums in Keldrad.
Yeah.
There's the nice mausoleums, and there are
The Gobbleums.
the goblin mausoleums. Go ahead and roll an advantage.
History check?
Yeah.
Oof. 8.
You're only familiar with the goblin burial places among
The Gobbleums.
Keldrad and some of the other cities within the hegemony, which are more large pits in a small building.
You're born in a pit, you
Goblins
die in a
like
pit.
their pits.
Pit to pit.
Usually it's just a bunch of bones in a hole, with a couple of fresh corpses kind of decomposing.
Yeah, it sounds like a really gruesome place to do business, if I'm being honest.
Well, it's a gruesome folk. Well, they're all under a beholder, right?
Leaf, have you like done lots of business dealings in these places? You seem like very comfortable with their situation.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, it's not strictly necessary to do it in a mausoleum, but it's kind of fun, honestly. You know, it's like, you could go somewhere maybe a little bit less visible, like, I don't know, you could do it in like some alley, or maybe
Or like
Maybe.
a safe house, or like a nondescript building that like isn't
like a
weird or
warehouse.
creepy.
Yeah, I mean, you could do this anywhere, but a mausoleum, it's a nice change of scenery. Spooky, probably keep. Well, I'd guess it's mostly about keeping the clientele probably a little bit on edge. They don't want
Okay.
anyone being too comfortable with them.
Huh.
Maybe we could like find some dead people to wake up and talk to while we are there.
Okay, well, that's an interesting idea.
Wait,
Sometimes I
you-
can do that.
Can you do
What?
that?
What?
Yes, I did learn how to do that.
When did
What?
you learn that?
Oh, like a while ago, but we haven't really been at the place with lots of dead people to talk to.
That is so creepy and cool.
I kind of thought about doing it with those soldiers that we saw on the way in, but then I kind of got scared about it, and it made me feel weird inside, so I...
Well, and you had just had that run-in with the weird
Yeah, I did not like any of that.
goddess in the
Yeah, that
dream.
was pretty creepy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, well, everyone eat, drink, be merry. For tonight, we're going to a mausoleum.
All right, let's eat steak. Zach will try to order a steak.
You're at the Gilded Dryad. They'll listen to your request there. You guys have food. You have drink. You make your way out close to around 11 p.m. as it's a bit of a hike over on the other side of the city around the hill towards the Mausoleum of the Fallen. Eventually you come to a large walled yard made of almost like classic graveyard fence of like stone and wrought iron with like the points of the wrought iron are in the shape of bird heads and beaks for the point. The fog and mist of the city obscures a lot, but as you enter the yard, you see pale, dead grass and trees that are bare, even in the height of summer, and a large building, an edifice of black stone with reliefs of a face that some of you find familiar. More a mask than a face. The Raven Queen.
Is it a statue?
No, carvings into the actual
Oh,
mausoleum
okay.
itself, as well as actual ravens.
You know, this looks a lot nicer than what I'm used to.
It's not a giant pit.
You make your way through the doors, which are large and just a tad cracked open, where white-blue flame greets you from wall-mounted torch brackets, pews upon pews of dark wood, arrayed forward towards the other end of the mausoleum, with a large statue of the Raven Queen, hands spread wide, robes kind of obscuring her form. The only part of the stone that is white is the marble mask of the statue.
Just as a character note, as it looks like we're getting closer to actually interacting with, like, assuming that we're going to interact with people, Mert's going to, like, kind of hunch over and maybe do, like, a almost quadrupedal thing going on.
Okay. What's everyone's
That's cool.
passive perception?
17.
10.
18.
Do I remember to level those up?
Yeah, if your base stat changes for it. So
11.
your wisdom changes.
I got an 18 passive.
Okay. 18. None of you notice as you walk in towards the pews as a figure sidles up next to you, robed in black clothing, black cloth. A raspy voice rings out. Welcome. Welcome all.
Oh, thank you for the welcome.
I think, like, at this, like, after the initial, Mert's gonna hiss.
As you guys turn to look, there is this robed, hooded figure. The only thing under the actual hood that you can tell is two pinpricks of light where eyes are reflecting.
Oh.
You come to partake of the matron's temple.
Not to my
I would
knowledge.
just look at Leaf like, what are we doing here?
And Leaf
Leaf looks befuddled.
Zach will look up at the face of the statue and, like, give a little shudder and, like...
You know what? Leaf will let's go. Well, we're gonna play along. Like he's gonna play along. Yep. That's us.
The figure just reaches up with what looked to be like gnarled, pale, almost translucent hands and pulls back the hood slowly. You see a face of a human, but almost like it has a second after image, a shadowy, actual translucence to it. The eyes, milky white, no iris, no pupil, just this kind of glowing white luminescence to them, softly.
What is it that he said? We're here to partake of the mistress?
The matron's temple.
Yes. Well, we do not get many here. Many honor the dead at courts, Ziggurat, the Berserker's Chapel. But the matron is here for all, not just those who partake in court or Arathis or Shaw. You are here to visit the crypts, then?
I suppose so. Yep.
Very well.
You see this person slowly back away to the wall where it reaches out and pulls this thick chain attached to a loop, like a hand loop. And there's this like slow rumbling as the floor between the pews retracts into a deep stairwell lit by blue light.
So we gotta do this, right?
So I would just be following Leaf, like, all of this seems super weird, but if Leaf is doing it, then it must be normal, so okay.
He's gonna just is that the vibe of everybody?
Mert's trying his best to act to seem feral.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
I think technically I've got the rope around my neck now too.
Funny enough, this is not strange behavior to this being, apparently. They don't really treat you any differently than a regular human.
I need to know who's holding your rope.
I think
Ori's-
Mick.
Okay.
Yeah. In Ori's absence or like hidingness, Mick is the one like
You're welcome
Is
to
that-
take the rope.
Oh no, Xylid. No, we don't do that.
I think Leaf is going to slowly proceed down the stairs in order to also, in the interim, reach out to everybody in their heads and say something along the lines of, "This doesn't feel quite right, but it remains our best lead, unfortunately. So keep your heads on a swivel."
Oh.
Okay.
I would probably pee her pants a little bit and just follow him.
Yeah, this is real weird.
Also, this is alarmingly similar to like how haunted house attraction begins typically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
You
Did not
proceed
think
your
we were
way
dungeon crawling today, but
down into the mausoleum.
Hey.
The blue light ending at the foot of the stairs, leaving you in semi-darkness besides the blue light and the light from above behind you. Spreading out, dimly lit in front of you are large, almost semi-hallways within this. They're basically a large expanse underground, but there are tall partitions of stone creating hallways within it.
All right, Tyler, should I be mapping or no?
You can if you like. Right now there are a bunch of basically stone hallways. Like imagine like rows of bookshelves spreading out from you guys that you can walk down.
Okay.
But
So,
they're
But
really
there's like a
tall.
long hallway at the top that kind of lets us go down them.
Yeah, so spreading out
I
from
see.
you are a bunch of hallways that kind of terminate where you are, and there's a walkway to access all of those.
Okay. I'm gonna
As you guys
proceed down the middle hallway. Can we watch for traps in here?
Sure. I'll treat your passive perceptions as watching out for traps.
Cool.
Unless you're actively doing it, and then in that case, roll a perception check.
I think Mert's just passively.
As you guys are starting to make your way down one of these halls, you hear a rumbling, and the light from above fades as the door closes behind you. You are now in complete darkness as the blue flame is snuffed.
Ooh, I got dark vision.
Could I cast light and make some light happen?
Absolutely. Some green luminescence illuminates your way. What are you casting light on?
I'll take my little stick out of my hair and cast it on that and just kind of hold it in front of us like a flashlight.
I think Visa will similarly light up the top of his staff.
Okay. You're proceeding down a random hallway. Is that what you said, Hayden?
The center.
Center.
The
Oh, just
center.
straight ahead of you.
Yes.
Is Homeboy still with us?
No, he.
He left. He's upstairs.
Yeah, he's
Thank
upstairs.
goodness.
But he went down the stairs a little bit, or not at all.
He just went to them and pulled a chain to expose them.
Okay.
He gestured like the ghost of Christmas to come
Yeah, like-
This is
to the
fiction.
secret hall.
What's the creepy stairs he requested?
You make your way down the hall. The
It's silent and
carved expanse spreading out amongst you, and yes, it is quite silent. It is musty smelling. There's a lot of dust, not a lot of dirt, as this is a well taken care of establishment, but still old, still lots of hallways, and you start to pass graves, crypts. Of many of these being Torvenbergen warriors or merchants or even some non-Torvenbergen, such as the odd tiefling or dwarf. Many of these are not just coffins, but actual stone relief carvings of the person entombed within. Many of these are also, two to a space on these mausoleum walls, so one down below and one higher above that you might be able to access.
So as we're
via-
walking down the hallway, their bodies are
yes,
next to
Yeah.
us.
and it's
Not
about-
like a drawer
no
coming out style like it.
like
they're
an actual
set
mausoleum.
into the stone, and there's like a little alcove above where you could lift a coffin lid.
Okay.
And it's about a 10-foot wide hall. Everyone, what can I get a perception check from whoever's in front?
That'd be a leaf, probably.
Oh God! All
For
right.
me,
There's room
I could-
for
I
there's
could
room
be-
for 2 people in the front.
I'll be next to
I
him.
would have light. We would
I need arms.
have light in the front and the back, probably.
Sure, I'll take the back.
Well, we're the only ones that can't see in the dark.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it extends.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be up in the front,
Okay, go ahead and roll perception for me.
and
you'll-
you can
as you'll
put
be
someone
there.
next to me. I guess y'all
I
can.
don't have very good perception.
I
I'll be
can't-
walking with
I
you.
think
Okay, go ahead and roll 2.
15.
15.
Yeah, check this out. 16.
Heyo.
someone can roll tonight, maybe.
I rolled a 15 plus 1.
As you stroll through the mausoleum for a good 10-15 minutes or so, coming to intersections, choosing different paths, realizing the scale of this place. Both Zek and Leaf in the lead, you spot off in the distance, upon the ceiling, some purple flickering light, casting shadows.
Proceed towards it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You begin to make your way towards this place in the distance, another 5 minutes away, as you have to go, a couple hallways over and a couple hallways down, essentially. You come to a hall lit in a deep indigo glow. I'm calling you Liz, apparently.
Oh.
Siri thinks that I need to call you. A deep purple glow that flickers and moves as you realize that there are lit candles glowing purple. Kneeling next to one of the tombs in this mausoleum is a figure with like dark hair, bowed, and it looks like it has some sort of like almost like a rosary of onyx that it's counting upon. That hears you, I believe. You're not sneaking, are you?
I haven't said that we were.
Okay.
Did anyone else feel differently?
No.
That hears your
Just been
presence.
tromping around.
Slowly looks over. Three of you recognize this being, this person, as Lara from Lara's Fine Art House.
Oh, fart.
Large.
What'd I say?
Yeah, it's probably fun.
She looks over. More of you than I expected. Some familiar faces. Looks to you three. Come. Kneel. I'm not done praying yet.
Zai would
Exactly,
just
we
wait
bring
for Leaf to do anything and then just do whatever he does.
Mert's gonna walk up to her and just like sniff.
She turns to you, rosary still in hand. Grimaces a little bit, turns back to her prayers.
I must be honest, though we haven't been acquainted, I can't say that this is exactly what I was expecting to stroll into this evening.
Holbrecht tells me that you're curious in procuring, as it seems some of your compatriots are.
Yeah, we've been trying different avenues, as I'm sorry, you've been acquainted with some of my compatriots?
Yes.
She probably wouldn't see Ori, but she would see Visa and
Yes.
Zai.
Just makes eye contact with those that went to the art house.
Visa will just nod in a similar fashion to earlier that day or the day before.
Sure. So you're looking to acquire, and then use the 9 to transport.
That's my understanding, yes. Seems that y'all run all the output of this city.
And did Albrecht connect you with Modin yet?
Oh, ran into him on a way in. Ill-tempered fella.
Unstable. Luckily for you, I can both supply you, as I am an independent contractor, and assist with smuggling, as I am part of the 9.
Is there like a circle of people down here?
She's talking to you as she's praying. She told you to come kneel, but she'll continue to engage.
But there's others down here, right? I thought I heard that, but
No, that you guys are the
no,
only
it's just
people
her.
in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. That's correct. I mean, looking to start doing some business.
In both deeds and illicit alcohols, then?
Yes, primarily most interested in hag's milk.
There's a small supply at Albrecht's, but I can provide more. How much are you wanting to take on, and where are you wanting it delivered?
I'm sorry, how I would be interested in your supply lines. I don't know you. I don't know how trustworthy any of this organization is, frankly.
Let us start over. She stands, rosary in hand. You see a bit of blood just kind of seep, as it seems she was clenching it pretty hard, down her wrist. She shifts the rosary into her pocket and holds out her bloody hand. I'm Aaron. Or Laura.
Aaron or Laura? Bort. He shakes her bloody hand. Just Bort.
In terms of knowing our supply lines, know that we are consolidated. Binlax, he keeps a firm hand. An organized hand. Rest assured, there will be no interruptions. Especially if you don't rely on Modin.
It's true what they say about him, that he's something else.
What do you mean?
He's Binlax. Heard word that he's some kind of a creature.
It's quite well known that Binlax is a beholder, yes.
Alright, I wasn't sure if that was just some kind of a scaremongering sort of thing.
Did you not read the notes?
Again, it's theatrics, right?
Perhaps. You must be dealing with many less substantial operations.
Correct. Everybody wants a hook, you know? But alright, well, I'm content to work with Modin for the time being. I'll have words with him and see if he's worth continuing doing business with. And if not, where can I find you?
Well, she looks over to Visa and Zai. They know where to find me. If I'm not there, I'll be here. Or the Abbey. Praying.
Zach is gonna look at whatever, grave she's praying at. Is there, a name or an inscription or a...
No name.
Relief
Funny
of the
enough,
person.
most of the features on this tomb are faded, smooth, worn with time. Almost featureless. Humanoid, about 5 to 6 feet tall, likely.
Does it look like she has any satchel or something carrying belongings?
She has a voluminous set of deep purple robes. That's it.
What do you mean voluminous?
They're pretty flowy. There's lots of layers. There's a lot of space here that these robes are taking up. They're not hugging her body. Gandalf, whenever Gandalf has his robes, they're you can't see exactly what he looks like underneath the robes. You know what I mean?
Mert is going to continue sniffing, but around her feet and kind of climb up the way a dog might. But
yeah, make a dexterity saving throw.
probably not great. 12.
Swiftly, she backsteps a second as you're trying to climb up her leg, and then just very gently pushes you back with her foot. No. Not appropriate.
He just hisses.
I don't have the leash. The only person that has the leash is the
rope.
Yeah, Visa will kind of tilt Mick back a step or two that pulls the rope back a little bit.
Forgive our gooby. Proves to come in handy more often than you'd expect.
Most goblins are a bit more present, but I've heard that some goblins can be a bit...
I don't think some of them fully leave the pit that they're born in, you know? minds can't quite wrap around anything beyond that.
Make an insight check for me.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to roll that.
Okay. What's your modifier?
+4.
See a brief frown come across her face as you reference being born in a pit before. It's like, just this kind of blank expression returns. Yes.
All right. So we've got our supply. I guess Modem's our point of contact. Do you know when we'll be able to find him? Chat more.
Well, we've not discussed how much you're sourcing here.
It depends. We're interested in long-term supply. I have to find my. Okay. I've got about a liquid 8,000 gold pieces to start with to purchase supply from.
And you're wanting bulk up front, or are you wanting these to proceed over time?
I think it's best to probably go with as much as I can get right now and then return when the profits start rolling in on it.
8,000 gold's worth of hag's milk is quite a lot.
Well, you got better prices than I'm used to, then I wouldn't mind. Look, if it's better to the prices you're offering, if it's better for me to have a steady supply for a time, I certainly wouldn't mind it.
I can provide about half of that up front, 4,000 gold's worth. But if you insist upon buying 8,000 gold's worth, I have a neighboring warehouse that I could get the remaining bit over to you quite soon. Modem can handle it. Won't delay but more than a day.
Well, how about this? We'll start with a half of that to start and see what we can accomplish on our end first. I'll chat with Modin again. I'd like to reinforce something, that this is a starting point for me and potentially for us. Not coming in here as a big spender as much as I am coming in here as someone of great ambition, let's say.
Well, there's much we offer, aside from hag's milk. So perhaps this is a good starting point.
Well, I think so. Now, in the meantime, I know that the emotions, I guess, the feelings of beholders can be a bit fickle. Is there anything I can do in the interim to get within the big fella's good graces?
You don't get in the graces of Binlax. You don't deal with Binlax. Binlax deals with the Nine, and the Nine deal with you.
So he has no ties with any of the clientele.
Binlax will not hear your name.
I don't suppose that bothers me too much. All right.
The restful master would appreciate the donation, the tithe. So see them about that. And see me if you require any documentation in the future.
Will do.
Night Mother bless you.
The candles she begins to, one by one, snuff with her bare fingertips.
Still light.
Yep.
As she finishes snuffing the final candle, she gives each of you a look as you are still here.
Yep.
Well, goodbye. Starts to walk off in a random direction.
Which
will
random
I will
direction?
determine now. South.
Cool.
That is away from the way you entered. To
Yep.
the north.
Okay.
I guess we take off, yeah?
Yeah.
Could we further investigate like where she was spraying and what like as we look closer, can we see anything else, or is it just like nondescript, nothing there?
Go ahead and make a investigation check or perhaps a history check.
Why am I so stupid? Cool.
Wait,
It's a-
you could make religion actually. I know you might be better at that maybe.
If it's religion, it's a 4. If it's any of the others, it's a 2.
Okay, with that 4,
So.
you don't know anything.
Oh,
But you feel religious about it.
feel
I'll-
religious.
I'll allow for one more check from anyone else, as I usually allow for
You'd probably
2
see
per
Zai
thing.
like looking at the thing and just kind of investigating, but then just
This, like, grave area?
shrugging and like, okay, whatever.
Where she was praying.
Oh, like, oh, looks so weird. There's nothing
Can I
here.
do a perception?
Sure. Well, no, perception's not going to get you anything.
Well.
I mean, you can. You're just going to perceive what it is.
Investigation?
Sure. Give me that. Well, no, perception will work.
Oh, okay.
Perception will work. Investigation or perception will both work here.
Word. That is a 13 on perception.
Okay. As you're kind of taking a look, you brush your thumb up against the the kind of the bottom of this coffin where you find a small groove, and you brush along the side and make out the shallow etchings of text here.
Just from what I can feel, is it text I would recognize?
What languages do you speak?
Goblin and common. Kind of.
No.
Oh, what do you see there, Mert?
Not sure like if the lady is like within earshot. He kind of just like motions and has people like rub their fingers in the general direction.
Okay.
One by one, basically.
What languages does everyone speak?
Elvish, common, and give.
Yes, but either ways, I would take out a paper and make a rubbing of it.
Celestial, Common, Druid, and Elvish.
Common, deep speech, infernal, primordial.
Ori's got Dwarvish.
Okay. Those of you who speak Elvish, read To the Void and those who will blissfully embrace her.
But it's a groove?
I'm sorry?
It's a groove?
No, it's writing.
Oh, okay.
He felt a small, groove in the unmarred stone, which turned out to be a series of, characters carved, by this time quite shallowly into it. Is there anything else we're doing down here?
Yeah.
Okay. Make your way back towards the stairs, where there is, as you take a look around, blessedly, a small chain with a loop that you may pull. The door rumbles as the floor slides back and you're able to proceed up the stairs, the lights igniting once again. The priest of the Raven Queen standing, hood back up, observing as you arrive up top. Is there anything we're doing here, or are we heading directly out of here?
No. Unless you want to start playing with Animate Dead for funsies.
Hayden, are you going through with your tithe here, or are you not?
Yeah, I'll tithe.
Okay. So that'll be 4,000 gold that you'll remove.
Wait, what?
Oh.
What?
The restful master will appreciate your tithe, is what she said in reference to.
Oh, yeah, I don't have that money now.
Okay. So you are neglecting said tithe here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
That's not gonna hurt us later.
Who carries that kind of money on them?
As you guys exit,
should we like try to pool the gold that we have?
No. Sure,
No,
let's see what
I was gonna
happens.
sell all these drugs that I have to our other guy and then use that money. I've already
Okay.
done the math on how much it's worth.
as you guys exit the mausoleum, motionless, only the head follows, turning your motion. Hard to tell even with the eyes as they are all white and glowing whether or not he's actually, watching you or not, but you are able to make your way out and towards the direction of the rest of town. You make your way back towards the Gilded Dryad, I assume, as it's now probably about 1 to 2 a.m.
Yep.
Okay. You make your way back to the inn, have a long rest,
Yep.
and as you wake to greet a new day, that's where we'll end tonight's episode.
Okay.
Bye, Jeremy. Bye, kids.